There's a moment that happens before anything goes wrong. A small tightening, not fear, not sadness, just a subtle pull inside the chest. It arrives quietly, usually before a sound is made, before a face changes. Before anyone asks for anything, it feels like leaning forward without meaning to, like your attention has already left you. You might be standing still, but something in you has shifted. The room hasn't changed, the air hasn't moved. And yet something feels slightly off, not enough to name, not enough to stop, just enough to make you alert in a way that costs something. That sensation doesn't ask permission, it doesn't wait to be invited. It just happens. Most people never notice it, they move past it, they stay where they are. But you don't. You feel it register somewhere deeper. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's almost polite. And because it's quiet, it's easy to miss how often it happens. It shows up in conversations that seem normal, in rooms where nothing is being said, in pauses that last half a second longer than expected. There's a slight shift in weight, a glance that lingers, a tone that drops just a fraction. And suddenly, you're no longer fully inside yourself. You're tracking something, not consciously, not deliberately. It's more like a reflex. Your body responds before your thoughts catch up, before you decide, before you agree. You might not even know what you're responding to yet. That's the unsettling part, because nothing obvious has happened. No one has crossed a line. No one has asked for help. And still, something inside you has leaned outward. People often describe this as caring too much, or being sensitive, or being emotionally aware, but that's not the part most people notice. There's something quieter happening underneath. It's not about kindness, it's not about empathy as a trait. It's about readiness. A constant low-level readiness to adjust, to soften, to make space, to absorb, even when no one has said they need it, especially then. You might notice it later when you feel tired for no clear reason, or distant even though nothing intense occurred, or slightly hollow after a conversation that seemed fine. You replay the exchange in your head, trying to find the moment where it took something from you, but it's hard to point to, because the cost didn't come from a conflict. It came from a shift, a subtle turning outward that happened automatically. You didn't choose it, you didn't think about it, it just happened. And by the time you notice, it's already done. That's where the confusion often starts. People might tell you that you should set boundaries, or speak up more, or stop taking things personally. But none of that touches the actual moment. Because the moment happens before words, before intention, before decision. It happens in the body, a tightening, a leaning, a listening that goes too far. You don't wait to see if someone needs you. You're already adjusting to the possibility that they might. And that adjustment feels small, almost invisible. But it happens again, and again, and again, until it becomes the background hum of your inner life. You might tell yourself it's just how you are, that it's natural, that it's not a problem. And maybe it isn't. But there's something about how automatic it is that deserves to be looked at. Not fixed, not judged, just noticed. Because there's a difference between choosing to care and being pulled into care without realizing it. That difference is subtle, but it matters. You might notice it most when you're alone, when the noise fades, when no one is around to respond to. There's a slight drop, like setting something down you didn't know you were holding. Your shoulders release a fraction. Your breath deepens without effort. And you wonder why it feels like relief. Nothing ended, nothing was resolved. And yet, something eased. That's where it starts to change. Not in the moment of connection, but in the moment after, when you realize how much of your attention was not yours, how much of your inner space had been quietly allocated elsewhere. This isn't about being overwhelmed by others' pain. That's the obvious version. The quieter version is about anticipation, the way your system stays slightly ahead of what's happening, scanning, listening, adjusting, even in calm situations, especially in calm situations. Because calm doesn't mean safe. Not really. Calm just means nothing has surfaced yet, and somewhere along the way you learn to prepare for the surface before it breaks. That learning didn't come from one moment, it came from repetition, from reading rooms where silence meant something was wrong, from noticing shifts before words arrived, from understanding early on that staying alert kept things from getting worse. You didn't call it a skill. You didn't aim it at all. It just became how your body moved through the world, always slightly turned outward, always ready. This is the part that often goes unnamed because it doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like awareness, like presence, like being tuned in. But presence doesn't usually drain you like this. Awareness doesn't usually leave you empty. There's a clue there. Halfway through these moments, there's often a flicker of resentment you don't allow yourself to feel. Not at anyone in particular, just a faint sense of being used up. You push it away quickly, tell yourself it's nothing, because nothing obvious happened. But something did. Your system reacted to an emotional signal that may not have even been real. That's the realization most people never quite reach. The reflex isn't responding to what's happening, it's responding to what might happen, to the potential of discomfort, to the possibility of emotional disruption before it exists, before it's proven, before it's asked for. And once you see that, something inside you pauses, not because you're trying to stop it, but because it finally has a name. It's not empathy, it's self. That's exhausting. It's the reflexive responsibility for emotional balance. The unconscious belief that it's safer to feel first, to adjust first, to absorb first, so that nothing spills over, so that no one gets upset, so that the atmosphere stays manageable. That belief lies deep, deeper than thought. It doesn't announce itself. It just moves you, and because it's been with you so long, it feels like you, but it isn't exactly you. It's something you learned to do before you had language for it, a reflex built for survival, not connection. That doesn't make it wrong. It makes it understandable. Once that awareness settles, the moments start to look different. Not lighter, not easier, just clearer. You notice the exact instant your attention leaves your body, the microsecond where you lean towards someone else's inner weather. You don't stop it. You just see it. And seeing it creates a pause that didn't exist before. A quiet gap. In that gap, there's no instruction, no correction, just space. Sometimes the reflex still fires, sometimes it doesn't. But the difference is that it's no longer invisible. And invisibility was always part of the wait. Toward the end of the day, when things slow down, you might feel less depleted than usual. Not energized, just less drained. As if a small amount of yourself stayed with you. That's enough. There's no resolution here. No final shift. Just a gentler relationship with the reflex that's been running quietly for years. It may never turn off completely, but it doesn't have to. It just has to be seen. And in being seen, it loses some of its grip. Not all at once, not dramatically. Just enough for you to breathe without leaning forward. Just enough to remain where you are, present, intact, even when the room changes.